Hello and welcome to TechKnow Tuesday, the weekly podcast about the first tech challenge and other things related to engineering, science, and technology. My name is Kendrick Bender. I am here along with
AJ Savopoulos,
Scott Brenneman,
Phil the man.
What did Techno Phil?
I left him behind.
Today we're going to be talking about a 3D printed exoskeleton,
a snowplowing robot,
free global internet,
And the FTC Ohio update. All right. Ohio. So GeForce came back from the Ohio State Tournament in Cincinnati.
Really, Phil? And how did you guys do?
We did okay. It was actually pretty cool. The robot performed much better than the last competition, mainly because we added serious rapid lifting, and we enhanced our collection roller, so it was like much faster. So it was pretty cool. We ended up being the number one seed, although we did lose a match. No one was undefeated during the competition.
Really?
Yes.
That's shocking.
Yes. Well, it's funny because that may not be true actually, because I think we were playing the only other undefeated robot in the final match, and no, that can't be right. Anyway.
No, because there were students with eight points.
Yeah, there were 5 matches. So there were but it was a pretty fierce competition. There were a lot of really good robots there.
I've never seen that many ranking points in years.
Yes, we had 1,117 ranking points at the end of 5 matches. So that's,
It's pretty big.
that's 230 ranking points a match, and that's the losing team. Okay? But there are a lot of really close matches. We won and or lost most of our matches by no more than 10 points. So it was really a pretty serious play.
So about how many trips were you able to get in between the blocks and the...
3 or 4.
Okay.
And they were usually full, 4 at a
Yeah.
time. And yeah, definitely 4, I would say. And most of the times we were paired with a robot that could do similar. So I think we balanced every time with 20 or so in either side. So that was pretty serious. And there was a lot of double autonomouses. In fact, that was our criteria when alliance selection came up. I did not even want to consider someone who could not double block score with us compatibly. I mean, we have some limitations, based on how we move. The other robot's either got to be able to get out of the way, or it's got to be able to get in fast and not hit us, and then let us do our scoring. And so there were plenty to choose from, as it turned out. So it was pretty cool. I think we scored autonomously. Scored autonomously every match except the first one, which we got to play twice, and we didn't score both times.
So anything like robot design-wise, or really anything unexpected that you saw there? Something that you...
There was one actually really kind of cool robot that was its lifting mechanism. It just had 2 little metal hooks that it flicked up, which weren't tall enough to hook the bar, but then the whole top of the robot lifted up with the hooks on 4 lead screws. So they had a lead screw in each corner of the robot facing up, and they had a sprocket attached to it, and they had a motor that would just ran a chain around the sprockets and ran all the sprockets. I think they might have had 2 motors, but it was pretty cool. So this the top half of the robot just up it came, latched on, and then it picked its butt up off the ground. So the clever thing is they only ever had to lift half of their robot. First they lifted the top half, then they lifted the bottom half.
Yeah.
So it's just like the FRC robot that we had last year with our lifting. But it was a really sweet movement, just like levitated the whole top of the robot. It was pretty nice. There are a couple of really cool robots with turntables. So they'd grab the blocks, back up on the ramp, and then swing the arm around on the turntable and dump them. Got to see the Cougar Robotics robot firsthand. We actually picked them as our first pick on the Alliance. You've never seen so many sensors in a robot before. It was outrageous how many. They had 5 motor/servo controllers and 2 sensor multiplexers. That's a lot of stuff in there.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah. All the things, some of the things we take for granted. There's we're gonna have a sensor for that. They had a follower wheel that actually measured how far the robot actually moved. I know I've seen that before. Unfortunately, it got him into trouble at one point when they played with us, because their move in autonomous went a little too far and hit us, which then lifted the robot off the ground, in which case they didn't think they were moving anymore. So they just kept on powering on there, and they pushed us across the field, and and they were our partner in autonomous. So that we still won that match, though, I think.
I saw the one on Facebook, the double lift. Did you have double lift or?
No, I think there was one successful double lift at that
Okay.
competition, but it was so was it a ramp one or was it a double hook lift?
Double hook.
Double hook, because the ramp bot, the Hatrix robot that we'd played with in Columbus was also there, but I don't think they ever successfully got a double hang. They had the robots that were coming up on them were having trouble getting up and getting balanced, which is what we always thought might be the case. But yeah, some really tough robots, some really like I said, high scoring all the way through. There really weren't any loser robots there, so it's an indication I think that super regionals are going to be pretty tough. I mean, a super regional is going to be just like going to Worlds. It's going to be those class robots.
Which makes me wonder what Worlds is going to be like.
Yeah, I'm wondering.
It'll just be a duplication of super regionals.
See some 1,000-point rounds.
I think it'll be. I think it'll be better than most Worlds now because because Worlds in the qualification you're weeding people out as if you're throwing that into a super regional. So then you have one more set of weeding out of the best team. So should be pretty good competition.
Yeah, anyone that got sent on from their state tournament because there wasn't many robots there, or because they got inspired but they still didn't get much, they will get weeded out at the super regional. Mm-hmm. Although, I mean, there must be a lot of teams moving on from super regionals. So super regionals, it seems like, are going to be 72 teams with 2 divisions of 36. It seems to be.
So it's going to be like Worlds with the
mini
divisions.
Worlds. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then I guess with only 5 or 4 super regionals, there's got to be a lot moving on from each one. Maybe 20 teams, maybe which would be really.
Man, how do you
get that many?
Yeah.
Well, once you run out of awards and stuff, I think they just go by the game rankings.
Ranks.
Yeah. We'll see some rounds at Worlds where the number of blocks on the fields become a limit.
Yeah, 0. No blocks left on the field.
No blocks left to score. I guess we'll do the end game now.
Wow, we should figure out what that score is then. If all the blocks got scored, like 50-50, let's assume, so 50 blocks. Yeah, interesting. So it's kind of cool because we knew that 6 teams would be moving on, so that means pretty much, unless there's overlap, the winning alliance and the Inspire Award. That's it. Now other regionals have more. Other super regionals have more that move on, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on. I actually don't know what the criteria is, whether it's teams in the region or teams that
Have they really
compete.
put it out? How many teams per super regional?
There's not like a central list, but each super regional is kind of making noises about how many are moving on or whatever. So, how many state competitions move on to super regionals?
So you're doing the Northern Central one then, or
Yeah.
Okay.
Iowa, here we come. John Deere factory.
John
here
Deere.
we come. Turns out that the Harvester division of John Deere is closed the day we're going to do the trip, so they're going to take us to a secret division that no one ever gets to see.
Oh,
You
sounds like
you
a good
didn't
trade.
hear it here first.
It's their lawnmower division.
Their robotic, autonomous lawnmower division. Just kidding.
How to cut grass.
Okay, so this past week, actually before then, the Chinese had a rover that landed on the moon, booted up, and it was roving around up there, and the moon was about to go. It was about to go to the dark side of the moon,
Which is, of course, an anomalous description, but anyway.
and then so
Because there is no dark side to the moon.
it was meant to receive its power down or hibernation instructions, but it missed them, and so they were concerned about it. The time it spent in the dark.
In the dark.
They were afraid that within that time it would have completely died and would not be able to
That would
ever
suck.
respawn again. But now this past week, they received a little blip from it. It says it's waiting for further instructions still.
Oh, good.
So it powered up, and I believe it's up there roaming around again,
Nice.
which is pretty sweet.
So it is a little known fact that the Russians sent several lunar robots to the moon before the men ever got there, which I think is, I had no idea, and I was sort of a techie, space geek, but I had no idea about that. So I think it's very cool now that they're going back with robots. I mean, the Mars rovers are all very cool and everything, but man, it takes a long time to get them there. And with the gravity and the lack of atmosphere, it's a lot harder to land them on Mars than is the moon. It seems like we could get a whole little colony of those little guys. Kickstarter project.
Get some of the swarm bots.
Yes, indeed.
like the ones that can build themselves into bigger machines and stuff and send a whole ton of them up there on the
I think those are called Transformers.
moon. Sort of.
Indeed.
So I was at my friend's house, and his dad was reading about that they're making pretty much free Wi-Fi for everybody in the globe by beaming it down with satellites and stuff like that. And
Must be a Google project.
no, it wasn't Google. It's supposed to launch in like 2015 or something like that, and they're trying to get funding now.
Funding for a free project.
Yeah,
Funding for free Wi-Fi.
but I've thought about it for a while. And I can't think of a single thing that would give us that we can't do with our smartphones now.
Well, maybe there
Give
could
us
be
free
higher
Wi-Fi.
bandwidth or something. Or maybe...
He brings up a valid point.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Because, like, for example, if you're in a ship offshore, you can't get the stuff you can get with your smartphone now because it's tower-based.
Yeah.
Whereas a satellite array can give you that everywhere. So that's one reason why satellite array is better. Although I thought the Iridium satellite array was going to give us something like what you're describing. And I don't know whether that ever happened or not. Because the Iridium, because that's the atomic mass of Iridium is like 76, and that's how many satellites there were going to be. Something weird like that.
It's not made out of iridium.
No.
That's lame.
Oh,
So, interesting. So, okay, so
But they
what
wanted
could
to
it
start
give?
with New York and then like expand.
Wait, what do you mean start with New York?
They wanted to
You
start.
can't put a satellite over New York. I hate
well,
to
like
tell you this.
they wanted that. They wanted.
Can't be done.
Yeah. Well, that's where they wanted to like do their testing at and stuff, like in New York and stuff. That's what it said.
What's that mean? I
I
mean,
don't
the
know.
satellite, they're not geostationary anymore, so they don't sit.
Could
know,
you make them geostationary?
Well, only if they're over the equator, which isn't very good for New York.
That's very true.
And so most satellites now are low Earth orbit, which means they're whizzing all over the place, which means they don't stay
Yeah, that's
above
the kind
anything.
it was.
Yeah,
They said they were
Like-
going to have several,
they'd have to have a lot.
at least several hundred of them
Yeah, I mean, I
in
think
low orbit.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money.
yeah.
I can't imagine how it would be free. That's what the thing is.
Well, you know,
Yeah,
free is
see-
only what you make it. I mean, Google is free, but look at where they make all their money. So, I mean, I guess to get on it, you'd have to accept ads or something.
Watch movies that you don't want YouTube is doing now.
Commercials, yeah, I know.
or it's free unless you want to maybe go a little faster.
Well, think about it though.
Oh.
Okay, so if there was a global satellite network that could track any person in the world, I bet there's a bunch of people that'd love to fund that.
Sure.
Let's start with the NSA.
Mhm.
Then every retailer in the world who has global sales, so that every time you've all seen the movie, I'm sure, Minority. It's in the future, and they have these little eye implants that everywhere they look, all the ads can know who's looking at them. Minority Decision, something like that.
Okay.
Wow. And so you're just walking down the street and you look over there, and the ad says, "And Phil, wouldn't you like to buy this so and so? Because you got that coffee down the street. Wouldn't you like a cup of sugar to go with your coffee? So it's like total awareness of where you are and who you are and where you've been and what you bought today and what you bought yesterday.
Well-
Can you imagine marketing targeted specifically to your every thought?
Well, that's a little
Google's
far.
already.
No,
But-
it's not. No, it's not, because usually you act on your thoughts. So if they know where you've been, it's just like it seems freaky when you're online on Google and it shows you the ad and you go, "Oh, how did it know? Oh, that's right. I was there yesterday searching for that." It'd be like that globally.
Yeah.
Something that's kind of scary.
Minority
along,
Report.
along the same lines. Anyone with iOS 7 can go into their privacy settings
Uh-huh.
and go into where they've been since they had the phone. It gives up frequent locations.
Oh my god.
It learns it well enough that it'll tell me, this morning I woke up, I looked at my phone, and it said, today you have college. I never told it where the college was, and it said, it'll take you about 17 minutes to get there.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
At that point, you break out the sledgehammer and smash it.
But I do think, on the plus side of that,
It is nice.
they're tying into all the like Google Maps traffic information. The Google Maps traffic saved us when we went to Cincinnati because the freeway got shut down because of accidents, and I'm just Google mapping it there, and it just diverted us. It said, "Hey, don't go that way, go this way now. We've changed our mind. Save 15 minutes." And it turns out we were the only people who got there at all on time, and everyone else took 2 hours more than us to get there because they got stuck in traffic and the accidents for 2 hours. So
Leave it to Phil to be the techie one.
dun, dun, dun. But I can see how they're applying that to, like,
Oh, yeah.
like you say, get up, go to work, otherwise you'll be late.
Yeah, it'll tell you that. But
Wow. So wait, before you do, alarm clock. So imagine the alarm clock where you say, I have to be at work at 9 o'clock. No, I want to get up at 7, but I have to be at work by 9. Wake me up with just enough time to get to work.
I'm going to ask Sarah to do that tonight.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's off topic, but I want to get this in since it was this week. The big snow happened everywhere. Got tons of snow. Mostly us. We got over 2 feet in one snow. We got them more than any other place on the East Coast.
Really?
There's a robot now. Like, she's probably been around for a while, but there's a really nice one here, and it's actually it'll plow your entire driveway for you. And their whole marketing side is that you can sit inside and sip your hot cocoa while your robot does all the work for you.
One thing I can just like sort of keep picturing with this whole robotic snowblower or snowplow thing is that it gets out like towards the edge of the road just as a snowplow's coming by, and it just like gets shattered.
I'm not sure
into
that. I mean,
pieces.
if you've got a really nice driveway, and and it's flat and smooth and not too much snow, but there's no way a robot could do my driveway right now. I refuse to believe that.
No.
Or ours.
Have you seen my driveway?
Yeah, right. All
Yeah,
yours.
there's no way. But
But it's cool anyway.
It's an idea. And if you go into the GPS type
I think
thing,
we should work on that ourselves.
all right.
Decide what we want to do, blower or plow, and then
Blower.
get
Blower.
ourselves. All right, everyone's going blower.
Well,
okay.
because the reason is,
you got to have somewhere to push it if it's to plow.
yeah, well, the biggest thing with our driver right now is it's slowly getting thinner and thinner because it's more snow, we
Yes.
can't push it out.
Yes, I agree. Plow works for me too. And then we should get one.
Like a dual wheel, like have a snow on
Tracks.
the front,
Tracks.
and then plow on the back. So.
Oh, so we could back up to plow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
'Cause
tracks
you don't have
for
to
sure.
walk behind anymore, so that works.
You can actually get special type of tracks now for snowmobiles that are for deep snow.
You can
which
buy
is
snow
nice.
blowers with tracks on them now, so we could use those. Little three roller tracks like tank tracks. There's a Husqvarna one, and there's someone else has got one.
Well, they sell they're called mat tracks. They're kind of expensive, but I saw a
Yeah.
4-wheeler with me the
they're
other
the
day, and I
ones.
was like, I doubt that thing ever gets stuck.
Yeah.
All right, that's all the time we have for today. So, on behalf of all of us here at TechKnow Tuesday headquarters, thank you all for watching or listening. Goodbye.
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 And remember that Taco Cat
Ciao.
spelled backwards is still Taco Cat.